All right.
You got the Jaycees here.
That's the sound that makes when you walk in the room.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
when
try.
D walks in, it goes.
All right, welcome to Chief, Cap, and Chap. I'm Jason, the chaplain with, where we at? Sikeston DPS. I'm just kidding. John Broom, Captain John Broom. And Chief is, as we say, on assignment today. That sounds good, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Hey, we're here with D. Bizzell, Austin Curtis from the Sikeston Jaycees. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
To be in this building and not, locked up.
Yeah, well, it's always a plus to be in this building and not be in trouble. That's for sure. And we're glad that you're here. And I know it's a busy time of the year for you guys, as if there's not a busy time. But specifically this time of year, as we head towards the first few weeks in August and get ready for the rodeo time, when this post will be right in rodeo week. So
Awesome.
Yeah, really excited about you guys being here. And what we want to do is on this podcast is just talk about the rodeo a little bit, talk about the history of the rodeo, talk about things that have happened in the past, some of your favorite moments and memories, and some things that are happening new with the rodeo. So we'll just get it started. D, I know you've been JC for how long?
Yeah, I got joined up 2000. It was like first week of January in 2012. Right when I turned 21, about a month after I turned 21, my cousin Cal Crater said, "Hey, you're home for Christmas break from college. You're going to be a JC tonight." And which, it's one of those things when you're from Sikeston, you've been around it, you've never missed a rodeo your whole childhood, and you see what these guys get to do, and they're in the spotlight of certain things. You're like, I want to be a JC. And I got that opportunity, and honestly, that helped make a decision to move back to Sikeston.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh, yeah. And just being able to be part of an organization, then finding out what that organization did for the community, it just made it that much sweeter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're focusing on with Chief Cap and Chat podcast is a community and those that give to community and serve community. What I find interesting is, so I'm born and raised in Sikeston. When somebody says to me, JCs, my mind immediately goes to
The rodeo.
rodeo. I did not realize until, it was a few years ago, but until I was well up into my adult age that's not necessarily what the JCs are. Now in Sikeston, the rodeo and the JCs are synonymous, but around the country, JCs are an organization that focuses on
Giving back, and being cheerful service and giving back to your community, raising leaders, creating those leaders and getting them into organizations that are going to better their community. And if they can make a couple dollars that year to give back, that's also a plus.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I found interesting was where the term JC came from. Right, the Junior Chamber of Commerce.
International.
International, and the JCI, and they shortened it to JCs. And so I thought that was interesting. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's pretty impressive information you got there,
Yeah,
Jason.
little research.
Yeah.
How you
Oh,
doing?
so you Googled that.
Probably
before
Chat
you came in here.
GPT.
No, that's years ago research because you hear people talk about the JCs and you hear of different JC organizations like St. Charles, right?
Yep.
And you hear about them, and I, in my mind, when I hear the St. Charles JCs, I think, I wonder what the St. Charles rodeo's like. There is not one, right?
So yeah, and that's what's neat is every JC organization, if they have a project, they get to pick what their project is. There's some that do golf tournaments. There's some do that do a rattlesnake roundup. And just some of them just might be a small enough organization in a smaller town. It might be an annual car show or a car wash that raises money, and they might be able to give $3,000 to $15,000 a year, and that is huge to them.
Right.
Which any dollar amount is huge. Just giving back, volunteering is a huge thing, and that's what really drew me in once I really found out, because my mindset going into it is just like yours. I thought that it was just about the rodeo. Well, then all of a sudden, the other 51 weeks, you really find out what this organization can do.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive.
Well, I'm going to ask a question. I may be throwing out Sikeston for asking this question because I feel like if you're from Sikeston, you need to know everything about the Jaycees and the rodeo, or you should just from living here. Has it always been the Jaycees rodeo?
Yes. So the Sikeston Jaycees, I think it was like 52, 53 started, and it was at the VFW ball field. And then it quickly moved onto the site that's on now, where we leased the property from the city, and then eventually got the opportunity to purchase the property. And so it spent a few years at a different site in a makeshift arena with the current VFW baseball field bleachers as the backdrop. And then it, quickly moved to its current place, and has never moved for 50 or 70 what? 70 what years this one?
73, I think.
73rd year.
Wow.
And has always had its ups, has its downs, but right now we're having a lot of ups. And it really is a kudos to, one, this community that already has great leadership and a lot of people that want to give, but also to the Jaycees, the organization itself, being able to help teach these guys and gals how to become a great leader, and giving them the opportunity to practice that, and then send them out to the community to then be on certain boards out here, if it's the food bank or it's Kenny Rogers or city council. You think about the city of Sikeston and our council. Like, the mayor of Sikeston right now is a past chairman. And that's what's really neat, is this organization helps prep you to say, okay, I'm done. I've been roostered, meaning you've been exhausted. Back then it was probably 36, now it's 40. What do I do now? And it gives you that opportunity to say, I want to keep giving. Where can I give? And it's an ever evolving circle of giving back to the community.
So let's go back 73 years. I know that. How old are you? I'm just kidding.
Happy birthday.
I know none of us were there 73 years ago, but from what you know, tell us a little bit about what the first rodeo was like.
Austin, you're going to have to help me too on this, because you being current chairman, you're kind of locked in. It was kind of an idea, right? It's like, okay, what project can we do? And this is from story time out there. You spend enough time the months leading up to rodeo, and it goes from, I'm going to spend a Tuesday, then a Tuesday, Thursday, and Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Then the month is July. You're out there every night trying to get this thing ready, and you get plenty of time, after the sun goes down, of listening to some of the guys say what it was about. And, from what I can remember, and I might be wrong, and I'll be told that I'm wrong if people, hear me talking about it, but it was an idea by Art Saunders and a couple other guys, Bill Hell and those guys, that they wanted to start a project. They wanted to start a rodeo. And they started this project, and there for a minute, it was a, do or die situation. And they finally got it over the hill about the third or fourth time of trying, and it was successful. And it was to the point where, and this is coming from guys that actually were there. They said, we were voluntold by one person, Art Saunders, we're not giving up this year, because if we shut it down, it'll never come back. And that's when it kind of exploded, and the organization really took it to the next level and said, we are not giving up, and we're going to make this succeed because people are counting on this. And they took every bit of the proceeds after paying the bills and gave it back to the community. And, it's like the Kenny Rogers Center now. Right. It was this very long, had an acronym name that had something cerebral in it before Kenny Rogers came to Sikeston. Enjoyed it so much he stayed for a second night. Enjoyed it so much he stayed for a third night. Enjoyed it so much he stayed for the fourth night. And then the next year he donated a horse, a stallion, that sold for like 80 plus grand back then, which is a huge sum of money.
Right.
And that's how the center really took that next leap in Sikeston. So we made an impression on someone who's not a Sikeston native, but now we have an honorary Sikeston member, helped form that with the Jaycees, that, the Jaycees try to give anywhere from, 15 to 30 grand a year to them, just because, that's part of Sikeston.
Right.
We're the only center between St. Louis and Memphis. We have that here, and thanks to Kenny Rogers and thanks to the Jaycees for X amount of years for doing that. And that's just, to me, that kind of marks our history, the footprint that rodeo, like it or not, has made on our community.
Yeah. So Austin, when you just thinking about the rodeo, and now it kind of has this flow, the rodeo. I mean, when you go to the rodeo, you kind of know how the flow is going to go, when the events are, when the concert is. Do you have any idea what it was like in the early days? Was it like it is now? Was it different? What do we know about that?
I mean, I would say anytime you start something new, you're going to pull your hair out worrying if it's going to work out. And I mean, after 73 years, you know, it's easy to sit back and say, we got it figured out. We know when everything's going to
Until the next problem.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, whole bunch of problems, but my really biggest takeaway from the early days is really a zero options mentality. There's no way we can let it fail, and that's the reason we're here today. And it's I'd say that mentality carries through all the leadership, and part of growing out there is developing that. We're not going to quit. Zero options. We got to win. So
Well, and you've seen it too. It's, you know, our leadership changes so frequently, and everybody likes to leave a mark, and that's not a bad thing, because what that does, it brings new innovative ideas. And so we're constantly trying new things. We're constantly trying to be above the next. And I think that's one thing that really helps us out there, is there's always something new, idea-wise, good or bad, but we're going to find out if it will make us more efficient in the concession stands, or make us more efficient in the sponsors building, or, you know, if we create something that makes our show flow just a little bit more to where we can get more sponsor shout outs out there, that creates more money that we can give back. And that's a lot of things that our generation has tried to help create, is that, since, you know, the founders and the guys between them and us have learned how to do everything wrong twice.
Yeah.
We got to see that. And it makes it so where we don't get the option. We don't get to make the mistakes. So they've already shown us what not to do.
So let me press into that.
Yeah.
What are some of those things in the history of the rodeo that you're aware of that were kind of like mileposts, or things that did exactly what you're just talking about? You said this was a turning point for the rodeo. What are some of those things in the history?
It's hard to pin anything down. It's always something small. You know, like changing the flow of the concession stand back in the day, of, you know, how they get everything out from the back to the front, or getting it moved from the kitchen to the other concession stands. Adding, you know, instead of having 3 cash registers, having 7 or 8. So you create that flow in something. You know, we went from having, I think in 2018, we would order maybe 20 registers, like the little swiper registers. And by 2025, we've got like 50 or 60 now, because we know if we can get the volunteers to run these, our patrons don't wait as long, which means the food doesn't have to be switched out as much, because it's getting sold, or the beer is being pushed quickly, which means we've created something more efficient, and no one's mad for waiting in lines too long, but we're also creating more revenue.
Gotcha.
That way, to pay for the artists that we're hiring that are going up in revenue. You know, everything's more expensive. So the faster we can get people moving through, the better we have an opportunity of paying those bills.
You know, one of the most exciting things that one of the changes that you had one year that I was really excited about is you went from Coors Light beer to Budweiser products. Not that I drink a lot of beer, but if I do, I prefer a Anheuser-Busch product. Do you remember what year that was?
We did that 2016.
2016.
I was president of the Jaycees then.
So do you influence that then?
You know, there was a group. I mean, it was a hard decision. You know, whenever you have a relationship with somebody, and we still think the world of, you know, the other brand that we used and the family that ran it. We still have that, and you know, we found an opportunity that we felt like was a good move in leadership at the time, and we still stand behind it because we're still with that company, that they could help provide something better for the rodeo. And we are very pleased with what we have accomplished with. Now it was, you know, Bo Ralph, you know, distributing. Now it's, you know, three Eagles. And to this day, we still have a great working relationship. And, you know, we still keep a good relationship with the past provider. But you know, it was to us a business choice that we had to make. and it was tough. Which that's a good learning situation for an upcoming leader in the community. You know, I was like 26. You know, I was young, fresh out of school, helping run a family business, and we just made a decision that altered the whole rodeo. And maybe that goes back to your previous question, like that could have been a mistake, but it turned out to not be.
Right.
You know, and we've flourished with it. You know, the opportunities that we've gained from it, and now, you know, Austin in his era is getting to, you know, work with somebody that really, really wants to be involved, and we've never really heard the word no when we've asked a question. They'll find out how to do what we request. And it's been fantastic, I think.
You guys made a lot of other improvements out there just in the last couple of years, you know, new grandstands and can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that was on the radar for, years. Everybody always talked about, when are we going to do bleachers? What's the lifespan of the bleachers? And we finally got to a point where it was like, we probably need to do this. I think it was 2020. Nelly came to Rodeo, and you could kind of see the bleachers move. And we were like, we need to think about this.
And you start thinking more about that in Austin's role as chairman, because you're out there and everyone else is like, this is great, like Nelly, and they're singing along, and the chairman's in the middle of the arena going,
oh, man.
oh my gosh.
Don't collapse. Don't
Oh
collapse.
my gosh, look at the wave happening in these bleachers. You're like, don't. Gosh, who do I call? Who's going to respond? You know, is the hospital ready for us if this happens? And so Austin's crew took it in their own hands.
Yeah, this was you got to give shout out where it's due. Clay Driscoll's a big part of that. He really took the reins and developed a committee to kind of start the planning process, and then he was chairman last year, which is when we implemented it. I was co-chairman and never looked back. Expensive project, but well worth it. I think the community likes it. They got nicer seats, better seats, safer seats.
It's giving back to the patrons, giving them something better.
Yeah.
And something that's going to last for the Jaycees after us.
Hopefully.
And better.
Yeah. So thinking about the Sikeston Rodeo, you know, and going places when you travel, there's a couple of things that Sikeston's known for. Obviously, you're the home of Throw Rows, right? We get that. Also, I hear a lot of times when I'm traveling, that's where the rodeo's at. Yeah, that's where we do have a rodeo, but it's almost like they call it the rodeo, and I know that's interesting, but there's something unique. I can't quite put my finger on it, but what is it about the Sikeston Jaycees Boot Hill Rodeo that makes it different from other rodeos around the country?
Perspective, we are unlike just about any committee out there. We are the youngest committee.
By far.
I think the guy that runs Cheyenne is like 85, you know.
You go to these committees and they're mid-60s leadership.
Yeah. Well, you can't hold a position in the Jaycees after 40, so it's a whole
we have a
different
good
ballgame.
time.
Yeah.
You know, we try to keep it as family-oriented because that's what it was founded on. But we also want to provide a decent time for the individuals that want to go let their hair down as well. And, you know, we're kind of known for that. And even in the rodeo world, you know, we start going to Las Vegas to the big conference, or we start traveling to these other rodeos to learn, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are Sikeston.
We have a reputation, a good.
You guys
one.
have a good time.
You know,
we want to come see your rodeo. We want to experience something that is, you know, that is not a normal Western rodeo." Mm-hmm. Best way to explain that.
So what are some of the quirks that make Sikeston unique?
Our arena shape is
for sure
is a pretty unique. You know, it used to be a ball diamond, I think, and you could go everywhere else and not see anything like that. Most of them are rectangular. You know,
about like this table.
Yeah, so
long shotgun rectangles.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting place to rodeo, that's for sure.
You know, they built the arena back in the day to try to get the bid for the Little League World Series.
Okay.
And us, the Iowa Rodeo, Sydney did the same thing. They were all trying to get the Little League World Series bid. So we're like, oh, well, two birds, one stone. We already do a rodeo in a baseball field.
Right.
Let's try it here. and obviously we didn't get it. You know, we don't get to have all the little kids playing baseball in Sikeston in August and July, but at least we get a rodeo in it now, and it's very odd to a lot of people. And we got a lot of shout-outs during COVID when the rodeo was down in Fort Worth because they did it in the Ranger Stadium. And they literally had a baseball field arena, and every night at the rodeo, they're like, this is a lot like Sikeston. Or you'd hear the winner that night would be like, yeah, you know, we rodeoed in Sikeston because we were one of the few rodeos during COVID. And they'd be like, you know, they're like, what's different about this arena? Like, well, we're kind of used to it already because we spent a few nights in Sikeston. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool that our unique arena stuck out.
So does the arena shape affect the rodeo?
In aspects, yeah. Your timed events are they're a little different. We have to have probably a little longer barrier for team ropers because the way it's shaped, they run out of room, so you have to give more time for them to get out there. But as far as like bucking stock, no.
Okay.
Wow, that's something new that I've never heard, and you know,
Taking you to school today.
I like the rodeo even more now, especially since it has a baseball background. That's
right.
awesome.
That's
we're
right.
both baseball guys. So.
Oh yeah.
Another thing about the rodeo that happens, and we're seeing it like right now, we're in the throes of rodeo season in the community. What are some of the things that you get excited about in the community as far as rodeo atmosphere around this event that takes place for 4 days? But it really is almost like a month-long event in our community. What are some of those things that you get excited about?
I really can't put my finger on it. It's just this feeling that you get, and maybe it's because I'm a little closer to the fire this year. I don't know, but I've been amped for about a month.
You could
straight.
answer that probably better next year.
Maybe
You really could. I mean, because you're right in the thick of making sure 52 acres is perfect right now. I mean, the downtown, everybody decorating. It's like they're taking this thing back to the 1800s, 1900s, like back whenever it's like you're riding horses downtown with buggies. People are painting. You got 50 plus companies in town that are decorating for our event, that are doing whatever they can. I mean, the week of rodeo, you might as well not try to go buy something or eat somewhere. Or, I mean,
Let's not say that.
but you know what I'm saying? Because people are so excited. It's kind of a now we'll get to the economic impact too on that. But
Yeah, right.
like people are so excited. It's kind of just like do what you can at work, but be ready for to support the rodeo.
I think
It's almost like a community reunion for that week. Like you see people that come in that maybe don't live in Sikeston anymore. They live in other parts of the country, and they come in during that week, and it's neat because it's not just one family that's having a reunion. It's basically everybody.
Austin's going to have people coming up from Memphis. I mean, he's got family coming from everywhere. My brother lives in Little Rock now. He's a Sikeston native. They don't miss. They come all 4 nights every year. Like they plan their August travel around this, and it's pretty cool that you're from here. You're going to come back here.
Maybe
and
we can
support.
convince some of our city officials to declare that a holiday week and just give everybody
I'm
that week
down
off.
with that.
I like it.
I don't see it happening, but I'm down with
We'll
that.
put that on the next city council agenda.
I'll let you present that.
We'll send this link at 23 minutes and 50 seconds to them and say, listen here.
I think that's hey, we're talking about new, fresh, and innovative ideas. So
That's right.
So anything from the past that is like those stories, like those unique or that wild story that you hear that the guy tells every year, that one story. Are there any of those that you can share?
Probably not.
Probably shouldn't.
Okay.
There's a lot of them. With any cool event, there's going to be a fun time. Getting ready for it. So, hey,
I kind of got a funny story for you that I think is kind of funny. Maybe they didn't think it was funny back in the day, the chief anyway. We had just got a new Polaris side-by-side, and this was still kind of new when the side-by-sides were still kind of new, but our department had got one of those, and somebody left the key in it out there.
Oh, yeah.
And took it for a little joyride.
I remember this.
So, that was kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought at the time.
And then the next year, the police department invested in a lot of mobile cameras.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they were on every pole and everywhere.
Imagine. So you mentioned a little bit ago the economic impact. share with us a little bit about how the rodeo impacts the community economically, socially, culturally. Share about those things.
So I mean, and Austin's familiar with this. You know, back probably 5-6 years ago, we tend to try to do a study frequently just so we know what kind of volume we have coming in. So yearly, we're throwing a net over our property to collect information from how many people are on our site, where they're clicking, where they're going to eat after that, what shops they're going to, what city they're from, and we can kind of collect that with current technology. You know?
Right.
So we're seeing anywhere from 50 to 80,000 organic impressions a year on our property during rodeo week. And at this point, we're seeing anywhere from a $7 to $8 million economic impact the week of rodeo in Sikeston, which provides anywhere from 100 to 200 jobs a year,
right?
Because of that, and that's massive for a 16,000 populated city.
Yeah,
and that's what this little rodeo that started in a baseball field in 1952 has turned into.
And I'm sure that economic impact doesn't just. It's not just felt in Sikeston and the minor area. I bet you there's a feeling in Cape and Dexter and Poplar Bluff.
What do you think with
even
the hotels?
Dude, I mean, every hotel in this town is sold out during.
And I know
rodeo.
Dexter's excited. They're putting in a new hotel. They're going to fill that because it's 25 minutes away.
Right.
And what's another 25 minutes? You're not an hour and a half away from home. What's another 25 to the rodeo grounds? I
was actually talking to somebody. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and they've got somebody coming in from northern Missouri, and they can't get a hotel room. They're all booked, so they had to stay in Cape.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that's several people,
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
One of the things that I always find entertaining, and that's just because this is my personality, but that is in March, there is a release of the entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's entertaining to watch people's response, because you'll have people that are over the moon for entertainment, and you'll have people that think this year is the worst year ever, and then next year
And then you sell
this
out.
year was the worst year, right?
Great examples this year. We had that same response, and Austin's sweating bullets.
There was a bunch of people like, I ain't never heard of those, and then Treaty Oak Revival sold out in like 6 days.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, so my point with all that is, you're going to have that either way. You're going to have people that are over the moon. You're going to have people that just complain about the entertainment. What I'm interested in is, how does that process work, where you go, and I know Craig is big time involved in this, finding the entertainment. What does that process look like in booking bands for the rodeo?
It's pretty in-depth. It starts with, so we have an entertainment buyer out of Nashville who's going to give us a list of people who are available in our price range during our dates. So you're already cutting the list of entertainers down to just a small window. And
you started in what, June of your co-chairman year?
Yeah, oh yeah.
About when I started, we started about 14 months before rodeo.
Wow.
Yep. I had my Saturday booked before we opened the doors for last year's rodeo.
Okay.
Same.
But they give you this list, and you look through, and they run demographics. They know who's listening to what around here. So you might not hear it on the radio, but it's playing on everybody's Spotify or something, And, Craig talks back and forth with the girl named Lacey who works for RJ Romeo. And,
shout out.
Shout out.
Thanks, RJ.
But then it's your decision as a chairman to say, okay, I'm going to take your advice, or I want to do something different. And then you also got to worry about order. But most of the time, I think it's good to listen to the people who you might pay for that. So,
yeah.
I had a conversation with this guy who's a JC member who does do the best haircut in town. I don't know if that's a clue to anybody. Mr. Jeremiah Quick. And he told me one time, I think somebody was complaining about who the entertainment was, and he's like, listen, you know how Jeremiah is. He said, listen, you bought a ticket to the rodeo with a free concert, okay?
That's right.
And I'm like, wow, I never really thought of that.
And that's what we try to tell people is whenever they're complaining, oh, this is the worst lineup ever. Yeah, but we have a rodeo.
Yeah,
and that's what
right.
it's based
Not-
about.
Not just a
And
rodeo.
we're just saying thank you that you're coming to our rodeo, and we're going to throw an entertainer out there.
Yeah, not just a rodeo.
it's-
One of the top 5 rodeos last year.
Yeah, I was going to say it's one of the
Outdoor,
best.
top 5
Yeah.
outdoor large rodeo
Yep.
of the year. You know,
Yeah. That's what I was
With
thinking earlier,
entertainment.
that I'd always heard that it was like I didn't know it was a top 5, but it was really close to, I think, was Alberta, Canada.
this is probably one of the first years that we've made it
In a while.
in actually to the ceremony. We've always been right there on the cusp, but this year we were able to do. I don't know what we did different, but we did it, and we got more recognition, and
And I'm sure that as far as the contestants, the quality and the talent of the contestants that
That
you
helps.
draw with the
How much
reputation
money
of
you
our
give them.
rodeo.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm sure money is a motivating factor, but when they
number one.
But when they know they're going to a good rodeo, you know,
Yep.
they might.
Yeah, and you know they have a good time. We show them a good time. We give them good hospitality. Austin pays them a good chunk of money because at the end of the day, that's how they make it to their World Series.
Right.
Is money count. And so if Austin writes them a big check, they get real happy with us and they might vote for us
Yeah.
if we have enough washing machines or enough clean showers and towels and food and couches
and water.
and water because it's hot here.
Gatorade or
So you guys grew up around the rodeo. Do you have an all-time favorite entertainer at the rodeo?
Charlie Daniels. And the second time.
Was
when it
that
came.
1997 or
Some-
6?
Somewhere in that range. I
I
was
think
young.
that was my first
But
year.
when he
working
came
here.
out and played, and I'm horrible with music. That's why I did not pick my own entertainment. I let smarter people than me do it. And it was a village that helped me, and we had a good year. But what's My Name Johnny? Is that the one? The fiddle too.
The devil went down.
the
to
devil
Georgia.
went down to Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was young and that he got up there and I think he brought his grandson on stage and he played with him, I was like, for some reason it's always been a core rodeo memory.
I think, and quote me if I'm wrong, I think you had Alabama that year too. Was it that the same year? I think it was Alabama and Charlie Daniels.
I don't know. That all kinds of runs together for me. Do you have an all-time favorite?
man, it's hard to pick. For the type of show it was a really neat thing when Riley Green played on the party porch.
Yeah, that's cool.
I enjoyed that because of how that all happened.
Intimate.
Yeah, but I mean, probably
Was that because of weather?
yes,
Yeah,
it was.
okay.
Probably straight up performance. Co Wetzel, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
You got a favorite?
I got a couple actually.
All right, let's hear them.
Travis Tritt, and that was
Very good one.
a couple years ago.
Yep.
And then, of course, I'm a huge fan of Dwight Yoakam. I like that guy.
That
but
was
I
fun.
heard that
was 16.
There was
he was nice.
Yeah.
You know, he's just cantankerous.
yeah. I guess if you're as big as Dwight Yoakam is, though, whether you're a Hollywood
Yeah,
star and a country music star, you can kind of be a little cantankerous.
What about you?
I have two. My first one, I think my all-time favorite was Chris Ledoux.
Okay.
It was awesome. Dude was playing the
classic.
guitar. He had
Yeah.
sparks coming out of his
Yeah.
guitar. It was wild. It was awesome. And then I'm a big Clay Walker fan. I know he's been there several
yeah.
times.
Big success there.
Yeah, great. And then I think it was 98, 97. Clint Black was here. And he did a song, Never Like the Rain Till I Walk With It with You. And as he started singing that song, it started raining.
I remember that.
And I was
remember
like,
that as a kid.
this is crazy.
And he stayed on stage.
And finished it.
And finished it.
It was awesome. So those are, Chris Ledoux was my favorite concert. And then the Clint Black moment was maybe one of my favorite memories.
Well, growing up in this town, like memories growing up with the rodeo, there's two that stick to mind. And it was, as a kid, you're waiting for rodeo to start. You're at your house. You got your cousins with you because you got
Yep.
a babysitter, and you're playing rodeo in the living room. Someone's going to bust their head because you've been riding a bull with a belt around your cousin's waist.
You
Might have
just
happened a couple
described my
times.
parents' house.
And then, mine was when the old chief of police would walk the barrier during the concert. And you're like, man, I don't know why. Those are the two things I always remembered.
I remember Pat Green. Do you remember Pat Green? Pat Green. I don't know why I was so excited to go to that concert. Way long wave, right? And dude, it poured rain the whole time, dude. And I remember they sent us out to the cars, and we came back in, and Oh yeah, not
Rain.
not gonna rain.
Not going to rain.
Not gonna rain.
Not gonna
but
rain.
that's one of the memories that I have was, being so excited that I didn't go home when it was pouring rain. I came right back in to listen
Yep.
to the song.
Yeah.
Speaking of rain, real quick, it's been crazy to me that we've had days before rodeo, and it would literally be a torrential downpour.
Listen.
I mean, inches, and that arena would be flooded
Listen.
at 3:00 in the afternoon. And then when the rodeo starts, it's dry. How in the heck do
We
you
were
guys
having
do
a
that?
great time. We were having a great time. I can't remember if it was a Tuesday or Wednesday of my year in 22. And one of my right hands was Jeremiah. I was his co-chairman, and we made a little agreement like, I'm here with you. You're gonna stay even though you're not a chairman anymore. You're gonna stay on board. You're gonna help me. And I had a couple others below me, like Austin and Clay and those guys that were really gung ho about no matter what it takes. And Jeremiah calls me, and it's 4 a.m. It's got to be like Thursday morning, and because I went to bed early Wednesday, like I got to bed at like midnight. We left the ticket office, which is an early night for a chairman. I went to the camper. It was kind of sprinkling, and Jeremiah takes me back there and goes, "Don't look at the radar. Just go to bed. It's going to be fine." And I wake up to Jeremiah drenched with his shorts on, like swimming trunks and cowboy boots. He goes, "Buddy, I'm in swim trunks because the arena's a pool." And it's 5 a.m. We have slack at 8. He goes, "But boss, we're going to get this taken care of." And I'm just like, I said a few words my mom probably wouldn't have been proud of. I put on some swimming trunks because I didn't know what I was getting into. I put the flip-flops on, and I take the Can-Am up to the arena, and the water was out of the arena. And we're out there trying to find the drain. We got this, like, just all these trucks in there trying to pump water out. And literally by 8 a.m., when slack was supposed to start, they took a photo at 5 a.m. and they took a photo 3 hours later, and it was the best footing that arena has ever had. But we had 40 guys out there that were fully committed, that we were going to go on time. But you want to talk about messing someone's stomach up in that position, is you walk up there at 5, 6 a.m. and it is a pool. Like, you can't see dirt. And then 3 hours later, you actually have a rodeo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unreal. But it's unnerving because it could be okay, but in the moment, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
What have I done to myself?
Imagine.
I've had some people ask me, what's the weather going to be like? If you looked at it, I said, man, it's the one thing I can't control. I've not even looked at it. Don't want to look at it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you don't want to worry about things you can't control.
Weather's going to
Good
weather.
advice.
We just had that conversation.
We just had that
didn't we? Yeah.
conversation, didn't we?
We
Cap?
sure did.
So as we head into the next couple weeks, we're getting ready for the 2025 Sikeston Jaycees Boot Hill Rodeo. We talked a lot about memories, a lot of the past. Austin, what are the memories that are going to be made this year? What are you excited about? What may be new at the rodeo this year? What is getting your blood flowing for the 2025 rodeo?
I'm pretty proud of our pins and shoots crew. It's a memory that I'm going to hold for quite some time. We built a whole new arrow pin system, and that's going to be something there for the next 30 years. I'm pretty proud of those guys. I'm proud to be one of the guys working on it, one of the guys that was chairman while it was happening.
So what is that?
It's a system for your steers and calves that basically takes sorting out of the equation. So they
Makes it easier. Makes it quicker, more
Yeah.
efficient.
quicker, more efficient,
Individual pins.
no mistakes.
Gotcha.
Makes
And
it,
they call it an arrow because of the shape.
shaped like arrow fletchings. So,
Gotcha.
but
So go by the
hopefully,
roping box, go see it.
Okay.
It's neat.
I'll be out there.
I always like to go out there, the day or so before when you start getting the stock delivered. Man, I love cows and horses and stuff. That's always
That's what
pretty
they call
cool.
the security walkthrough. They're
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah, I'm just there for security,
Yeah,
not for
security
just
walkthrough.
So who do you get your stock from? Is there a couple different companies or?
Our stock contractor is Survey Championship Rodeo.
Yeah, they're the Broncs are pretty impressive. The horses, of course, the bulls too. I love the bulls too, but man, those
So,
horses.
yeah, they're definitely known for their horses.
I mean, it's
They
like
have
a Clydesdale.
They
I'm
have
like-
a second to none breeding program. I got the privilege in 2020 2020 of getting during COVID. They, Cowboys weren't making a lot of money, and Binion and Chase Servey, who owned the company with their dad, who's now passed away, they invited all of us out there, and they had a the last day of the rodeo season. They did a buck off, and they had the saddle bronc and the bareback top 20, 25 from each, because the money was that close, because they weren't making money. And they did a 2-go in the same day, and we got to go in the middle of their ranch out in Colorado, 100,000 acre ranch.
Wow.
Took us forever to get to the middle of it, and it was kind of like the Lion King. You stood up on a little platform and you look around. Everything that the sun touched was theirs. Wow. And it was so neat. And what was cool at the end of the night, kind of what they do the celebrating the livestock at the end of our rodeo now, right?
Yep.
They did that with over 100 horses, and we got to watch them run out of the arena and literally just over the horizon and just set them to pasture until the NFR. And it was the coolest thing, naturally, how these horses just sprinted away to greener pastures.
Wow.
And it was the coolest deal I've ever seen.
Wow. That sounds awesome. We need a little taste of that sometime.
It was unbelievable.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for what you do for our community. Want to pass along our thanks to the Jaycees and the team that puts all this together. We know the impact that it has for our community, and we're very thankful for that. But before we go, I want to do a quick lightning round of questions for you.
Push the fun buttons.
Push the fun button. We can do something. Yeah, there you go. Fun buttons. All right, here we go with just lightning round, quick questions. We'll go, both of you answer it first. Favorite rodeo event to watch?
Bareback.
Bull riding.
Bull riding.
All right. Favorite food at the rodeo
Barbecue.
grounds?
Corn dogs.
Popcorn.
All right. Most memorable weather moment during the rodeo?
When the arena was a lake in 22.
Probably when it was a lake in 22.
It was cold one year. I don't know if I remember that. It was several years ago.
2020.
Yeah.
All right. One thing, and you don't have to answer this one. One thing about the rodeo most people don't know.
How much work it actually takes during the events.
We start prepping before this year even starts. I mean, chairman's making decisions for next year. Co-chairman is.
Gotcha. All right. One more. Rodeo in one word.
Sikeston.
Sick.
Fun.
I like that. Hey, thank you guys so much, D, Austin. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you for everything you do for the rodeo.
Yeah, for sure. Get out to the rodeo grounds, and it's going to be a great week. Going to be perfect weather. Going to be, what do you want to hit? Hit it. Yeah, we got it.
Do the little twinkle, too.
Oh, yeah.
We all know these JCs are going to get wild in here.
Yeah, we knew that was coming. So
What was it you said when Broom walked into the...
Yeah, there we go.
I thought it was this one.
All right.
All right, we'll stop, Jason.
We'll stop. We're going to get in trouble.
I know. Chief's not here.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, send us your questions, comments, chief.cap.chap@gmail.com. And tune in next time. Thank you guys so much. We hope that it's a great rodeo. We'll see you. And don't forget, always take
The high road.
the high road.